In this bustling and chaotic mortal world, do you often feel restless, lost, and entangled by countless worries every day, tormented by regrets of the past and anxieties about the future? If that is the case, then today the radiant wisdom of Elder Guangqin may illuminate the path within your heart leading to liberation. Originally, liberation is not in a distant future, but in the present moment of our mind. Venerable Guangqin once said, "If the mind does not give rise to discrimination, that single thought is liberation." This simple sentence embodies the essence of Buddhist practice. Perhaps you may ask, is such a momentary liberation truly possible? When we face the various challenges in life, how can we achieve it? Then, please patiently watch the entire video. If one can comprehend the guidance of the Venerable Elder Guangqin, liberation will be attained immediately. In the 1960s, there was a lay practitioner who was mentally and physically exhausted every day, tormented by the pressures of life and the trivial matters of family. He came, drawn by the reputation, to the Dharma seat of the Venerable Master Guangqin, seeking instruction. The lay practitioner sat before the Venerable Guangqin, pouring out his troubles. "Master, although I recite the Buddha's name and meditate, my mind is always noisy and restless, and my afflictions seem to increase. I don't understand what is truly happening to me." Elder Master Guangqin listened quietly, then gently picked up a cup of tea and asked, "Is this tea murky?" The layperson looked at the clear tea in the cup and replied, "Not murky, it is very clear." The old monk asked again, "If I pour mud into it, what will happen?" "It will inevitably become turbid," the layman replied. The old monk continued, "Then if we want to make it clear again, what should we do?" The lay practitioner paused in thought and replied, "It can only be still, allowing the earth to naturally settle." Venerable Guangqin nodded with a smile. "Say exactly so. Your mind nature is originally pure and tranquil, like this cup of clear tea. It is only because of the disturbance of external dust that it appears so murky and impure. You do not need to seek liberation. Simply let go of false thoughts, allow the mind to return to tranquility, and the true nature will naturally reveal itself." This simple metaphor of a teacup reveals an important truth of Buddhist teaching. Our true nature of mind is inherently pure and originally complete. Afflictions do not originate from the external world, but arise from our attachment and discrimination towards the external world. When we are able to let go of these discriminative thoughts, liberation is immediate. However, the question arises, in this era of information overload and immense pressure, how can we return to our original mind with a single thought? What practical and feasible methods does Venerable Guangqin offer us? Let us continue to deeply appreciate the Buddhist wisdom of our master together. Venerable Master Guangqin practiced with rigorous discipline throughout his life, emphasizing that cultivation does not lie in external forms, but in the mind and thoughts. He often admonished his disciples that the practice of reciting the Buddha's name does not depend on the quantity of recitations, but rather on whether one maintains a single-hearted and undistracted mind. If, while reciting the Buddha's name, the mind is still distracted by other thoughts, then even chanting the Buddha's name 100,000 times is not as meritorious as a single pure and mindful recitation. This state of unwavering single-mindedness is precisely the concrete embodiment of ultimate liberation in the present moment. Some may think that this realm is too profound for ordinary people to reach. However, Venerable Guangqin Master believed that such a realm is not distant. It exists within our daily lives. He once began like this: when eating, focus solely on eating. When walking, focus solely on walking. When doing a task, concentrate the mind in one place, without clinging to the past or worrying about the future. This is cultivation. From this perspective, spiritual practice does not necessarily require going to a temple or a remote mountain. Rather, it is rooted in our daily life and in every moment of our thoughts. When you eat, are you able to fully focus on savoring the taste of the food? When you walk, can you be aware of each step beneath your feet? When you talk with your family, can you listen with complete attention? It must be admitted that such concentration is not easy to achieve. Our mind is like a mischievous monkey, always climbing and wandering everywhere. Memories of the past and plans for the future continuously intrude upon the present, preventing us from abiding peacefully in the now. In the face of such difficulties, Venerable Guangqin provided us with precious guidance. The Venerable Guangqin emphasized the practice method of contemplating the mind. He said, "When a thought arises in the mind, do not follow it nor forcibly suppress it. Simply be aware of its arising, then let it naturally fade away." This practice method of not acting on lustful thoughts can help us gradually cultivate awareness of our thoughts, thereby preventing us from being controlled by them. During the Republic of China period in Taiwan, there was a fisherman who encountered a storm at sea and nearly lost his life. After being rescued, the fisherman felt a persistent fear whenever he saw the sea and could no longer continue fishing to make a living. Venerable Guangqin said to him, "When fear arises, neither suppress it nor be overwhelmed by it. Simply observe this fear as if watching clouds in the sky. When he comes, you look at him. When he leaves, you also watch him, neither resisting nor grasping directly." The fisherman, practicing according to the teachings, ultimately is able to return to the sea and continue fishing to support his family. This method of practice appears simple, but is actually not easy. It requires us to continually practice in daily life and constantly remind ourselves to return to the present moment. However, each moment of awareness, each return to the present, is an experience of liberation. As the Venerable Guangqin often said, a single moment of mindful awareness is liberation. You might ask, how does this concept of immediate liberation differ from the liberation described in traditional Buddhism? Doesn't traditional Buddhism emphasize that liberation can only be attained through many years or even multiple lifetimes of practice? Venerable Master Guangqin once said, "Liberation is not elsewhere. It lies in this very moment of mindfulness." The moment of arising is awareness itself, utterly transcending all extremes and limitations. The meaning of this sentence is that liberation is not in the distant future or at a specific point in time, but in every moment of thought we experience. When a delusory thought arises, if you can be aware of it and not follow it, in that moment, you have already experienced the taste of liberation. This understanding is not contradictory to traditional Buddhism. Traditional Buddhism does indeed mention a lengthy process of cultivation, but this does not mean that liberation can only be attained in the distant future. Conversely, traditional Buddhism has always emphasized the importance of the present moment, and this concept of ultimate liberation through presence becomes increasingly precious in contemporary society. In modern times, people's lives are fast-paced and stressful, with anxiety and depression being increasingly common. In this context, the teachings of Venerable Guangqin provided us with practical and feasible methods for cultivation. His practice does not require complicated rituals or specific places. It only requires that we maintain mindfulness in daily life and return to the present moment. However, it is easier said than done. When we face various challenges in life, how can we truly return to our original mind with a single thought? Venerable Guangqin provided several specific meditation and practice methods. First is the practice of mindfulness of the Buddha. Venerable Master Guangqin devoted his entire life to practicing the Pure Land Dharma. He emphasized that reciting the Buddha's name is not merely verbal, but more importantly, a mindful practice within the heart. When we concentrate on the Buddha's name, the mind does not become scattered and naturally returns to the present moment. For those who are just beginning their practice, reciting the Buddha's name is an excellent starting point. The next practice is mindfulness of breathing. Venerable Master Guangqin taught his disciples to cultivate mindfulness by observing their breath. Breathing is the most fundamental and constant activity in our lives. By focusing on the breath, we can settle the mind in the present moment, no longer disturbed by the past or the future. The third is daily mindfulness. Venerable Guangqin encouraged his disciples to maintain mindfulness in their daily lives, whether eating, walking, working, or resting, always remaining fully aware of what they are doing. This practice of daily mindfulness can help us integrate the Dharma into every aspect of our lives. In the 1950s, there was a merchant running a small grocery store in Taipei who labored from dawn till late at night to make a living. Facing the dual pressures of business fluctuations and family responsibilities, he often found himself mentally and physically exhausted. Upon hearing the Dharma name of the Venerable Guangqin elder monk, he specially went to seek guidance. Following the guidance of Venerable Guangqin, he began practicing amid the bustling commercial activities. Whenever he encounters difficult problems or emotional disturbances, he temporarily pauses his activities, focuses on his breath, becomes aware of the present emotions, and then softly recites the Buddha's name, allowing his mind to return to calmness. By persevering day after day, he was pleasantly surprised to find that he could maintain greater awareness amidst business conflicts, no longer being emotionally swayed by profits and losses. Even during the busiest moments in the shop, he could maintain a rare inner calm. This example teaches us that immediate great liberation is not an elusive concept, but a state that can be genuinely experienced in daily life. As long as we follow the teachings of Venerable Guangqin Baoheng, maintain mindfulness, and return to the present moment, we can find inner peace amidst the busyness of life. Some may ask, in this world full of temptations and distractions, how can one maintain such focused and continuous practice? Especially for ordinary people like us who live in the mundane world, this seems to be a great challenge. Regarding this, Venerable Guangqin had a unique insight. He believes that practice is not about escaping reality, but about cultivating within reality. He once said, "Time itself is the sacred ground, and afflictions are bodhi." This means that we do not need to escape the clamor of the world, but find tranquility within it. We do not need to avoid afflictions, but awaken through them. For example, it is like a lotus that grows in the mud, yet is not tainted by it, instead blossoming into a beautiful flower. Similarly, our practice is the same. We cultivate in the world of dust without being tainted by it, ultimately blossoming the flower of wisdom. This practice in daily life is referred to by the Venerable Guangqin as the ordinary mind in the worldly way. He emphasized that practice does not require special forms or specific places. It only requires us to maintain awareness and a calm mind in daily life. Eating when eating, sleeping when sleeping, working when working. Each present moment is an opportunity for practice. Some may worry that this practice method is too simple and question whether it can truly help us overcome our afflictions. Venerable Guangqin elder monk provides a clear response to this matter. He said, "Dharma has no fixed form, cultivation has no fixed method, meaning that there is no fixed way of practice. The key lies in whether we can maintain awareness and a calm mind under various conditions and circumstances." Once, the Venerable Elder Guangqin led his disciples on a journey through the mountains. Suddenly, a dark cloud loomed overhead, and heavy rain poured down. The disciples hurriedly sought shelter from the storm, yet the old monk remained calm and unmoved, letting the rain soak his entire body. A disciple could not help but ask, "Master, why do you not seek shelter from the rain?" Venerable Guangqin smiled and said, "When the rain comes, endure the rain. When the sun shines, bask in it. Go with the flow and remain at ease. Why avoid it?" This little story illustrates that a true practitioner does not evade all external changes, but maintains inner peace amid those changes. No matter how the external world changes turbulently, the mind remains calm and unshaken. This is true liberation. Perhaps you might think that such a realm is too lofty for ordinary people like us, who are busy with life and work. Can we attain it? Regarding this, the Venerable Elder Guangqin has a very encouraging response. He said, "All sentient beings possess Buddha nature. Everyone inherently has it complete, but because of delusive thoughts obscuring it, it cannot manifest. This means that everyone has the capacity to experience the ultimate liberation in the present moment. It is only that we are obscured by our own delusions and have forgotten our true nature. The purpose of practice is to help us penetrate the veil of delusory thoughts and return to the tranquility of our original mind. Venerable Guangqin proposed a simple and effective method, mindfulness of the mind. Observing the mind means observing one's own thoughts and mental states. When a thought arises, neither follow it nor resist it. Simply be aware of its presence, and then let it naturally fade away. This method of practice appears simple, but is in fact profound. Through continuous mindfulness, we can gradually realize that thoughts are merely thoughts. They come and go, while our true nature remains unchanged and steadfast. In this process, Venerable Guangqin particularly emphasized the attitude of non-attachment. He said that attachment is the root of suffering. By letting go of attachment, suffering naturally disappears. When we no longer cling to thoughts and are no longer controlled by them, we can experience inner freedom and peace. This non-attached attitude applies not only to our perception of external phenomena, but also to our approach towards spiritual practice itself. Venerable Master Guangqin once warned his disciples that even in practice, one should not become attached. Otherwise, the practice itself can become an obstacle. Many practitioners often become attached to a particular method of practice or to a specific level of attainment during their spiritual cultivation. These attachments can all become obstacles to practice. True practice requires letting go of all attachments, including attachment to the practice itself. Only in this way can one truly experience the state of liberation in the present moment. As the Venerable Guangqin Lao Hashang said, true cultivation is cultivating without cultivation, achieving without attainment. Not clinging to practice, not clinging to results, freely following conditions. This is true liberation. Perhaps this is the essence of Venerable Guangqin's lifelong practice. No longer seeking externally, returning to the original mind, not clinging to form, emphasizing substance, not escaping reality, practicing in daily life, not being attached to practice itself, and maintaining an ordinary mind. This cultivation method is both profound and simple, both lofty and practical. It does not require us to abandon our everyday life or to withdraw from the mundane world. It only asks us to maintain mindfulness and equanimity in daily life, through which we can experience the state of liberation in the present moment. For ordinary people like us living in the mundane world, this is undoubtedly a great encouragement and inspiration. We need not envy the monks who cultivate in remote ancient temples, nor lament our lack of time and conditions to focus on practice. For according to the teachings of Venerable Guangqin, cultivation is found within our daily lives, and liberation arises in the very moment of our present thought. Whether you're an office worker in a white-collar job, a laborer in a factory workshop, a busy gentleman at home, or facing any kind of life pressure and challenges, you can find a way to return to your true nature and experience inner peace and freedom through the teachings of Venerable Guangqin. When you feel restless in a crowded train car, try to focus on your breathing and be aware of your emotions. You will find that the restlessness gradually subsides. When you encounter frustration and feel discouraged at work, try not to be overwhelmed by your emotions. Instead, be mindful of their presence, and you will find that the discouragement is no longer as intense. When you encounter conflict and feel anger in interpersonal relationships, try not to react immediately. Instead, give yourself some space to be aware of this anger, and you will find that the anger gradually transforms into understanding and compassion. The teachings of Venerable Guangqin provide us with a path for practice amidst the worldly life. This path neither avoids reality nor is constrained by it. It embraces the various challenges of life while maintaining inner tranquility and freedom. This may be the very practice method most needed in our era. If the mind does not arise with discrimination, that single thought is liberation. In this complex and intricate world, let us try to let go of discriminative thoughts and return to the purity of our original mind. Experience liberation and freedom in each present moment. Liberation is not in the distant future, but in the present moment. The Dharma is not found in the scriptures, but in our hearts. Practice does not require a special place. It takes place within our daily lives. As long as we are willing, every moment can be a moment of liberation, and every breath can be an opportunity to return to our original mind. May the illuminating wisdom of Venerable Master Guangqin light our path forward, helping us find inner peace amidst the tumultuous worldly affairs and experience eternal freedom in an ever-changing world. No matter what challenges and difficulties you're facing now, remember the teachings of Venerable Guangqin. Liberation lies in the present moment of your mind. Simply let go of delusive thoughts and return to your true nature, and you will experience inner peace and freedom. This may be the most precious gift that Venerable Guangqin has left us, and is also the wisdom we need most in this ever-changing and challenging world.